Welcome to the show that looks at truth, fiction, and reality with a smirk. I'm Aaron Peterson.
I'm Amanda Sink.
And I'm Zach Parkerton.
And welcome to Smirk. Each week, one of our hosts introduces an original story, which we then use as a springboard for spirited discussion on whatever that moral or theme of the story is. But this week, we have listener stories, right? We're back to the listeners.
Woohoo! We just keep getting them rolling in.
And Amanda is actually going to front this one.
Let's hope it goes well.
Wow.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, hopefully I don't mess up reading.
Bad?
No, the stories are actually pretty good.
Every listener story is a gem.
This is the only time he gets
like at the
enthusiastic
beginning,
about anything.
And then by the end, he's back to...
Yes.
Everyone knows it's about me.
It's a pretty spot-on impression of you.
Yes, I sound like the Wolverine.
Don't give him that compliment.
Is that what the Wolverine sounds like? If I sound like the Wolverine, I am going to go out and get numbers.
All right,
So
married man.
You don't look like the Wolverine, so that's not good.
I just walk up to ladies, and then they call the police.
Kind of sound like Mad Max.
People are probably so tired of hearing that audio by now.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. They've probably already stopped listening. All right, well, man, are you ready to? Are you ready to start us off with the first story?
I guess as long as you're done with your terrible Zach impression. People
It's not the
hate
worst
you.
impression.
They say comedy works in threes, and I think
That was
I've done that
4.
like 8 times.
Right, so one more, then you go 3 times 3, 9, perfect.
Okay, Amanda, go.
So this first story is from Paula Sell. She wrote in, she's actually pretty excited about it, and she wanted to let us all know that she's enjoying the show and to keep up the good work.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, yes.
I've lived in a small town all my life. I moved to a different small town, had my kids, but if you've ever been to a small town, you know you never truly fit in unless you grow up there. It's an unwritten rule, I guess. So in this new small town, there was a man in a wheelchair, and I would see him wheeling all around town. I realized he lived down the road from me. Me being me, I would try and wave and smile at the man. He wouldn't look my way, ever. So eventually I gave up, but if he would look my way, I'd still try to smile and wave with no luck. I believe an honest smile can crack even the toughest people. Well, he proved me wrong. I've lived in this new small town going on 12 years now. It's been snowing a lot, and I still see this man wheeling along with his bright light at night. I feel I want to help him every time I see him, but he doesn't seem like the type to want or need my help. I was letting my dog out one snowing night, and I see this bright light on a side road, and it was not moving fast. The road is barely plowed. I go to the window, I see him pushing forward, then shake his hands because they're cold and full of snow from trying to push through the deep snow. I'm watching him and having an inward debate. Do I ask if I can help? I don't want to offend, but I can see he's struggling, and I'm not the type to just sit back and watch. So I decide, screw it. I walk out to my porch and I yell to him, "Can I help you?" He said the obvious answer, no. He said, if I can just get to this main street, it'll be much better. Well, as I was watching him, I said to myself, he's being stubborn. And what do your friends do when you're being stubborn? They stop asking and just do it. So that's what I did. I walked out there and I said, please let me help you. He sounded defeated when he said okay, and thank you. I grabbed the handles of his wheelchair and started pushing him toward the main road. It was hard for me, so I knew that he was exhausted. He said he was on the side road for about 10 minutes. I feel horrible. I wish I could have gotten to him sooner. So we finally got to the main road, and the snow wasn't that much better on the main road. So I said to him, if you don't live far, will you let me take you the rest of the way? And surprisingly, he agreed. We chatted a bit. He made sure to tell me he doesn't usually ask for help. I said, I know, I'm the same way. I was so happy he let me help. We got to his house. He said thank you, and I finally introduced myself to him. We shook hands, and I walked home with a smile on my face. I think the next time I see him, he might actually wave back. What do you guys think the moral of her story is?
People in wheelchairs shouldn't shovel snow.
Zach, what about you?
I mean, that seemed obvious. Help people in need. It's always good to accept help.
So her moral is asking for help isn't always a sign of defeat. It can be a sign of strength. And since Paula didn't have any particular
Wait,
question...
can we go back to my theory?
Oh, gosh.
Why is he in a wheelchair trying to shovel?
He's not trying to shovel. He's trying to wheel himself across the road, and so he's getting stuck in all of the snow. He's trying to get to the main road, but he's in a wheelchair.
Do they have plows on wheelchairs?
I don't think so.
That's what she should have done. Just bought him up.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Why didn't you just like stick a shovel at the front of his wheelchair? Then he does it himself, and it looks cool at the same time.
It's like you give a man a fish, he eats for a day. You teach a man to fish, or give him a shovel.
I don't think that's how this works.
I'm sure it probably doesn't. But that's a wonderful, heartwarming story.
It is. And so
Sure.
Since she didn't have any particular questions for us from her story, I wanted to know, I guess, what would you guys do? Would you help somebody if
Leave him stranded in the snow.
No,
man.
but I mean, if he's continuously rejected every...
Exactly what she did. That's
You would do exactly what she did. Zach, you're more cynical. Would you still help?
Wow.
My first instinct would be to not help, because if I was in the wheelchair, I would not want anyone's help. I would get up the damn snow hill. Or not, and I would sleep on the snow.
You just die frozen from stubborn.
Yeah, but me, small town me, and living in a big city me. So I would probably cross the street. I would probably ask him if he needs help. And if he says yes, I would help him. If he says no, I would say, all right.
There's no way I'd leave him. If he was obviously struggling, I realize there's a pride factor. I get it. I totally get it. I've been there. I understand it. I struggle with it myself.
You've been without legs?
I've been last summer where I couldn't walk for several weeks, and I didn't want to ask for anybody's help, and I had to, and it sucked. It's awful. Like, for a very proud, stubborn person, that's an awful feeling. It's a very hard feeling, and it's a defeating feeling to finally have to admit to yourself, there are points in my life where I can't do it myself, and it's hard to do. And there were moments where people had to do things for me and didn't ask me if I wanted them done. They just had to do them because I would say, no, I'll figure it out. And, meanwhile, in your head, you're like, I can't figure it out. I don't want to do it. But you're like, no, I got this. That's how stubborn, proud people are. I get it.
I think we're all pretty stubborn here, and I think it's interesting that you have an exact example to reference. Zach, have you had a situation that you've encountered throughout your life where you maybe felt like you didn't want to ask for help, but you absolutely needed it, and you finally accepted your defeat?
Broke down.
No, I mean, nothing comes to immediate mind.
Too strong of a man.
Hey, sometimes you just got it all the time.
Too dumb of a man.
That
too
too.
Stubborn of a man is probably the word you're looking for.
I feel like when I ask, I don't know, things always go south.
When you ask for help, things go south. Who are you asking for help?
Stop asking Satan.
What?
Well, depends on, are you talking like the levels of like, hey, I need a ride from the train station? There's that, I guess.
Well, I mean, I guess in any circumstance, I didn't know if you've ever had
kind of help.
Mm-hmm.
I guess. Well, usually these people are like, I don't know. It's very confusing. I don't have anything off the top of my head. There are no stories immediately coming to mind.
Go ahead and say what you want to say. If they want to see me, they'll pick my ass up. That's what you're looking at. We got it.
So they usually understand the situation. So,
Fair enough.
What about you, Amanda?
I broke my ankle a while ago, and I was really stubborn when it first happened. I broke it 9 hours away from home. And I think I feel like I've talked about this.
You have talked about it, so we don't need to hear it again.
No, I was going to tell you something different. Jerk.
I was just doing that for the listeners, not for you.
Uh-huh. So for that circumstance, I didn't accept any help. I went back to work Monday. It happened Friday. And that was that. I worked at a production company, a factory, and I was on crutches. I just had to do what I had to do. But then when I went to finally get surgery years later, I think it was like 3 years later, I finally decided this is atrocious. I also sprained it like 2 times in that period of time. So it was just getting progressively worse. And when I finally realized that it was not a sprain like they initially told me, it was actually a break, and I decided to get the surgery done, I had to ask for help, and it was awful. I couldn't even shower by myself because it was my right leg. And so I had to like sit on this chair in the shower and like have help getting that chair into the shower. My leg always had to be elevated. It was atrocious. And I know people have gone through worse surgeries than that, but that was the first and only surgery I've had, like, for me physically. And to constantly rely on somebody to even bring you a cup of water, I finally figured it out. And I finally figured out how, like, you got boobs for a reason. Stuff in there.
What just happened?
If you need some snacks, like some gummy bears or something. But it's hard to ask people
Wait. You put gummy bears in there?
Like, they're in the bag, but you just, like, stuff it. It's like a grocery bag. You can just hang out and, yeah. You don't have hands. You have to use your hands to crutch yourself back and forth.
This is uncomfortable. I don't want to hear this story. This is just weird. Now I just picture every time you go to any event or something, you just like pulling out food out of your bra.
If you don't know a woman that's done that, then you don't know
hoping
women.
That all of them don't do that.
They all do that.
So every woman I see has food in their boobs.
If they have larger breasts, more than likely there's been some crackers in there. Wouldn't there be more in the
flatter ones because they could pack the bra, right? I mean, I feel like this isn't a very scientific example, but
it's not. No.
I didn't know this. This is fascinating to me.
Money, food.
So next time I see a young woman at the beach in a bikini, I'm going to be like, "Did you get any gummy bears?"
I guarantee you she has money in her bra or in her swimsuit top.
Can I borrow a buck?
I don't want sweaty money.
No, that's why they have those signs on restaurant and like gas stations and stuff that they don't accept.
How did we get here? That's really what the question should be. How did we get here?
Anyway, so back to the topic. I've never been physically disabled. Like, I've never broken a bone or anything like that. So I wonder if that's why I've never had to break it down.
Oh, maybe.
Oh, it'll happen. Because I had never had it happen either.
I'm bulletproof, Aaron.
Yeah, I was bulletproof too. And then I took a trip. I literally just tripped. And then I'm not able to walk for a long time. So it's easily I'm glad that there are people like that in the world that even though this guy wasn't willing to accept help or ask for help.
He said okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he said okay when she came over.
He did, but I mean that's very hard to do. And I'm glad that there are people in the world that are willing to go out there and try to do the right thing.
Almost force it on them.
Yeah,
I feel
sometimes people need that.
Yeah, they need that extra push.
Yeah. Oh boy. If they were just stuck up, what?
What?
What is she talking about?
They need the extra push. She was pushing him in a wheelchair.
You were doing a pun because he's in a wheelchair?
Yeah. It was bad.
Oh, yeah.
You've just made it sound terrible.
I think this whole episode is offensive at this point.
It's a translation, let me tell you.
Yeah. She had just put a plow at the front. I think this wouldn't have been. Put a motor on the back. It's like Silver Bullet.
No.
Okay.
Wow. There was that.
Yep, there was that. We'll see how much that makes the show.
Don't salvage it. Leave it alone.
So the title of her story was Snow Sucks. And she said, yes, that's my title.
Is that all one of the like snow sucks : yes, that's my title?
No, Snow Sucks, parentheses, yes, that's my title.
Snow Sucks, the movie.
Yes, that's the film.
Snow Still Sucks.
Well, thanks.
Part 2.
Thanks for the story. That's pretty cool. I assume it's true. Did she say if it was true or false?
She did. Yep, it's true story. Well, I mean, everything was pretty.
It was written in the form of I, but you can write stories.
Yeah,
in
you could.
Fiction,
yeah.
So.
She said this is a true story. She even sent a smiley face.
Jack Reacher. Every Jack Reacher book. I love Jack Reacher.
Fair. Good point.
I ain't ashamed of it.
Why would you? That would be a strange thing to be ashamed of.
I know, because they're great books. Even though he doesn't look anything like Tom Cruise in the book. But whatever.
Movies.
That's for the best. The book is better. I haven't read it. I don't know.
Better movies. Way better.
Movies are good.
Never go back.
Yeah, never go back to watching those.
Wow. Hey, you're going to make this podcast fall off the rails.
Yeah, that's uncool. Jack Reacher's dope.
Thank you, Paula. Thank you for that.
Thanks,
we have
Paula.
Another one?
We do. We have a second one. Are you guys ready for 2 in a row? I guess not.
Well,
See, amiga.
What would be good? Spanish class. What I think would help this work is if you had any snacks for me.
Would you like a gummy bear?
No, not from you.
Can I get a nice sweaty gummy bear, please?
Do you have an icy? Well, yes, I do. Hang on.
If it's an icy, you're gonna have. This is gonna get dirty. Never mind. Let's move on.
It's freshly pumped.
It's liquid. Look it up.
Oh my God. That's too far. There's a line.
All right. So the second one is from Amber. And she hopes that it's not awful, but she thought she would just give it a try. And I'm sure it's not awful.
Are you sure? Did you actually read it first?
I read through it. Mm-hmm.
Because if we get to the end and we feel like it's awful, we're probably going to say so. So just kidding. We would never do that.
Zach would.
Yeah, I would let you know.
He's like, I'm an honest critique. I've already thought it was awful before you can get to the end.
No, I'll listen. I give fair critiques.
If you say so. Sheila's day continued to spiral. Not only had she lost her job, but the rent was due in 24 hours and she was broke. Her roommate Nancy was always a comfort and willing to help, but this wasn't the first time she had left her hanging, and she knew it. As she walked in the door, Nancy was sitting in a chair, clutching a pillow, looking sternly at Sheila. "What's wrong, Nance?" Sheila asked. "There was a voicemail for you, from your former boss. I heard about the layoffs." Not only was Sheila still letting the thought of a job loss crush her soul, now her roommate already knew she didn't have an income. Most assuredly, she's here to give her fair notice to find another place. Something she completely understood. "Yes, I'm sorry. I'll start looking for another place. I don't want to put a burden on you. I'm so sorry, Nance." Sheila started to break down into hysterics. Lying on the floor, sobbing, she suddenly felt a harsh yet soft whack on the back of her head. It was from Nancy's pillow. "Are we going to cry, or are we going to get our ass off the floor and not let this bury us?" With those words, Nancy swung the pillow again across Sheila's head, immediately knocking her off balance. With that, Sheila jumped up and ran to the couch, grabbed the other pillow, and promptly swung it around and knocked Nancy on the ground. Before long, it was a full-blown pillow war, and Sheila had forgotten all about her day of hell. In fact, she suddenly felt a renewed sense of purpose. Also, she knew that everything was going to be just fine.
Pillow fights solve all problems.
I was waiting for it to get a little saucier.
You're hoping for a little bit of intimacy there?
I'm not going to lie, I was too.
Nancy kind of seems mean to me. Hey, find a new place. Oh my God. Shut up.
Get your ass up right now.
Yeah, sounds like a good friend.
Well, the moral is that best friends know always what you need.
Didn't Nancy kick her out?
No.
No, she was worried that that's what she was going to do.
She was worried about it.
Oh, I misunderstood. I'm sorry. I thought Nancy was like, hey, you're going to need to find a new place. Then Sheila started crying, so Nancy's like, I'm going to whack you in the head if you don't get up.
That's a totally different kind of story.
No, Sheila was worried that since Nancy knew that she was going to end up kicking her out, so immediately Sheila was like, I know, I'll look for another place. And that's when she was like, get your ass up, whack. So the first question that Amber has is...
Good story.
Is why does a pillow fight always make things better? Have you men had pillow fights with your other men?
No.
Why do they make things better when you watch them?
Well, let me tell you about the male biology.
I don't know why, but there's something about watching women pillow fight. It's kind of
it's usually in slow motion, and they're usually just kind of in a panty and tank top. I'm just saying,
right? They're never.
It ain't hard to solve the math on that one.
They're not wearing like flannel pajamas,
and for whatever reason, they're always on Pornhub.
How do you know?
Sometimes
I'm saying for you guys, or sometimes what?
Brazzers.
Oh man,
it's movies. Even when movies have a pillow fight, there's just something oddly romanticized about it, I guess. I mean, obviously because it's a guy director and it's some kind of male fantasy that we didn't know we had, but we're watching it and we're like, hey, I'm into pillows. Who knew?
That strangely made me think of the scene in Jason X where he zips up a sleeping bag and knocks a person against a telephone pole.
That sounds fun.
That's a weird connection. It really
it's kind of like Jason Voorhees' pillow fight.
What just happened? What?
Why do those pillow fights always make things better for Jason?
How does that connect in your head?
Pillows whacking.
I get it, but I don't really get it.
Because it kind of looked like you're swinging a pillow.
Jason's having a loving pillow fight.
Fan, so the connections were immediate.
Lord, Mandy, you're a woman. Not to say that we aren't, but Does a pillow fight, does it actually make everything better? Is that a true thing, or is that just a male fantasy?
Wait, how do you feel when you see a couple of fine ladies whacking each other with pillows when you're scoping Pornhub.com?
I'm with you guys. But I don't think I've ever had a pillow fight before. I mean, not that I can, I mean, with my brother, but we were like assaulting each other with like curtain rods and stuff.
That doesn't sound like a pillow fight at all.
No, I mean, we were like, it started with a pillow and we would hit each other and then it would escalate to other objects. So I don't think I've ever had a really good experience with a pillow fight.
You're doing it wrong.
Apparently.
You're about to chuck bricks at each other.
Right?
We used to do a lot of wrestling on a cement basement floor, and he at one point picked me above his head and threw me on the ground. And
This is not loving at all. This is dangerous. And you should seek probably counseling and maybe
medical attention.
Maybe witness protection. I don't know. That just seems like quite a stretch. But also not a pillow fight.
I know. This is the extent of my pillow fighting. Is fighting.
Well, at least you emphasize the ting. I got some ting wrong with me.
Yeah, I may have had a couple pillow tights. I don't know. I don't think I've ever actually.
Pillow tights?
Yes, where I tightly hold the pillow down around somebody's
Very firm
face.
grasp of this pillow. I've had a pillow fight before with a female when I was younger. It was fun.
Yeah, I think I was going to say I had a vague recollection of pillow fighting with a girl.
You do?
I feel, no, like vague, though.
How vague is vague? Like it's never happened and you're just making it up?
This was
Could
a
have
fantasy?
not happened, could have happened.
Maybe it was just a recollection from something you were thinking about.
Yeah, it could have been. I saw that cute girl
Last
in 7th
week.
grade and was like, yeah.
Love to smack her with a pillow.
Well, also, pillow fights are much different in movies than I think pillow fights actually are. When people get hit in the face with a pillow, it's not fun. And when you watch them,
That's true. I mean, every once in a while somebody will do that, like they're trying to be cute or something and they throw a pillow at you.
Mm-hmm.
It's never fun. I don't find it enjoyable. In fact, I want to punch you in the face. I want to go
In fact, it's incredibly irritating.
Yes. And they always do it like, ha. Why are you ha-haing? I was focused on something and you hit me in the head. That's not cute.
now you've distracted me. Yes. Go away.
We just got to the twist of this episode of Black Mirror. You're going to hit me in the face with a pillow?
Why do you hate me?
Yeah. And then, but in like movies and I guess porn, it's like so soft and
I guess porn.
in movies and stuff, it's just so subtle and soft and like dainty. Like they just tap each other on the arm with the pillow and it's like, ha ha ha. It's like with a feather. It's
and
weird.
There's 4 of them. And it might have like 2, might have 4 of them. And they're in a room and they're acting like it's going to be all jovial. Man, I've seen 4 women slapping each other. That's going to get vicious fast. Somebody's going to die in that room. They're not going to be boom, boom, boom. You hit me. Bam. That's what's going to happen.
Well, what's realistically is going to happen is when a girl knocks out the fake eyelash on one eye and the other one still has one intact, that's when there's going to be a beating or a nail breaks. Imagine the outrage. Just imagine.
That's how riots start.
Yep.
Yeah, man, it hurts breaking a nail.
Acrylic nail or a real nail?
Both.
What? Real? I've never broken an acrylic nail.
Well, that sounds painful too.
It's glued to your nail, so
Ooh, that sounds more painful.
not fun.
Seems silly.
It does. Why you can't grow your own?
Not like
John.
that. No.
Well,
I don't wear fake nails much anymore. You can't like.
I don't
play
understand the
piano with
concept.
it.
I've never understood the concept of nails, fake nails here. Grow your own. If you can't grow them, hey, that's just the way life goes.
Well, because you're a dude. I also feel like it's weird.
Why is it a thing with women? I don't know. What does it
I
give
think it
you?
makes them feel more feminine and more pretty because you're able to do whatever.
To look like you can't manicure yourself?
Is this what men think?
Yes.
Yeah, I've never seen like super long nails, fake nails, real nails on a girl and gone, cannot wait to get into that.
It's true.
When you ask a guy, what do you like on a girl? They never say, oh, the nails better be long. You know what I'm saying?
No, because all that we see is, ow, ow, ow. That's all we see.
I guess just the ones who enjoy pain, like the long nails. I don't know.
Well, yeah, Mr. Christian Grey, I'm sure, loves long nails.
So Amber's second question is, have you ever had friends that knew exactly what you needed to change your day?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, sure, of course.
What friend do you guys usually go to that always brightens your day, or what do they do to improve it?
Zach? You go first.
Does he have friends? No, I'm just kidding. He does.
Wow.
He does.
Man,
I know. I know,
but he doesn't like people.
I try to keep it a limit of 5, or otherwise you get too emotionally exhausted.
That's probably a true story, is it?
Huh?
I said that's probably a true story, is it?
That is a true story. Yeah, sure. I can't really think of perfect examples. Usually, if I'm having a rough day in this day and age, usually post high school, I kind of just keep it to myself. In general, previously in high school, I had a best friend who always knew how to pick me up. But in my adult life, I kind of try to keep my stuff to myself.
That sounds healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Period.
You know, I don't want to burden other people with my problems.
It's not a burden. That's like part of the reciprocity of friendship.
I mean, unless you're calling me with it, because I got stuff to do. So it's kind of a burden. You know what I'm saying?
I like to solve other people's problems. I don't really like to deal with my own.
That's healthy. That's good.
Which I'm sure is very healthy to say out
It's
loud.
very good. Very good and healthy.
We've said before, this podcast will be very therapeutic for me.
We need a whole hug episode. I've got a few friends that do. Tyler, Brian, Dennis. I mean, those guys really, Tyler especially, like he's spot on with my sense of humor. So he knows exactly what to say to make me just completely forget it. Brian's pretty close too. So, and Dennis has known me since I was a kid. So he knows.
So just his being around you.
Well, yeah, because he knows when I don't want to talk about something and when I do want to talk about something, and I usually don't want to talk about something. So that's pretty easy. Sense of humor is what I need usually, and those three guys get me. So
my buddy Savi will, if he knows, he'll sometimes send me a salacious picture because it makes me chuckle. Because he's just got a giant folder of them, and it's kind of funny.
He's got a photo of salacious photos.
An album.
Yeah, an album.
That's a little disturbing, but I like it.
He's got a hilarious amount of hard drive space dedicated to. It's funny. It's just funny.
Hey, whatever cheers you up. If something makes you happy, the more the merrier.
What about you, man? Do you have a magical friend?
I have a couple good friends that I can rely on to cheer me up. When I'm in a bad mood, I don't want something that's I don't want something that's over the top, but I also don't want to be miserable, I guess. Sometimes I just like to be alone, but if it's a situation where I want to be with my friends and I want them to cheer me up, or they just naturally do make my day better, it's typically with dark humor. I do enjoy dark humor, and that'll make me laugh. Or sometimes just being with my friends. Like, we don't need to do anything in particular, but just like my friend Courtney, actually both of my Courtneys. I have two really good friends that are Courtney. And
Courtneys.
And just being around them and spending time with them makes me happy, just because they're just enjoyable people, and they know how to kind of naturally get my mind off of whatever's going on. And if I want to vent about it a little bit, then I'll vent about it a little bit, and we'll just kind of move on, and I feel a little bit better. So I feel like if it's a terrible situation where I need advice, then that's a situation where I'm just going to vent to somebody and talk to them. And sometimes I just need to get it off my shoulders, but I don't like to hold it in.
Thinking a little bit more on it, I guess, in the very few times my buddy Jeremy and I will have like super long, lengthy something, which makes me feel better. But I've never had like someone just do. I don't really just randomly get happy because of something people do. So
I can give, jumping back to my tripping injury, that was fun. When I was running a trail, tripped, and I couldn't walk. Like I could not walk. Couldn't put any pressure on my leg. I couldn't even hop. Like it was awful. Worst pain I've ever felt in my life. And I had to call my buddy Tyler to come get me because I couldn't walk. I need somebody to help me walk out of there. And he shows up with his stepson, and he immediately starts laughing at me. And, you know, I wasn't in a laughing mood. I'm in tears. I mean, and I don't cry. I'm just not a crier, but I was in tears because it was the most miserable thing I've ever felt. And he gets me up and starts helping me walk out, and his stepson's, you know, and I'm like, thanks for bringing him. And he's like, no problem. This will be fun for him. And we're walking out, and then this old guy, and I mean like 75, 80 years old, comes over, and he's like, do you need help? And without thinking, Tyler's like, absolutely. If you could get on the other side and help, that'd be great. And I'm just sitting there going, God, son of a man, because this is the most, you know, now it's like double humiliating.
Yeah.
And but it made me feel better because it was funny. So you forget about it for a little bit. So there you go.
Aw.
Now that kid can go tell all his friends what a punk you are.
We had to pick up the sissy. He couldn't even walk. It was about 100 feet to the road. It was 100 feet, and I couldn't get there.
My stepdad's a friend with losers.
Pretty accurate.
Well, at least you have good friends.
Yeah. I mean, he came and got me out, so I would have been there for a long time otherwise.
That's a sign of a true friend.
Yep.
What's question number 3?
Was there any more?
That was the only questions she had.
Okay, I apologize.
There is one ending note.
What?
She said, thanks all. Love the show, and all 3 of you are great. I challenge Zach to write a happy story.
What?
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I'll get to that in 2020.
That is 2 years from now.
That's...
We can do maths.
we can do... Yeah, I think she meant
that
like...
might be ambitious. 2021.
You were issued a challenge. I think you gotta
have to
rise
step
to
up.
the challenge.
Mm.
I mean, you're a good writer, right? You can write about anything. It's fiction, maybe.
Probably.
Yeah, I would have to. I'll write a fantastic story about Super Mario saving Princess Peach.
There you go.
If you can make it enjoyable, that would be happy.
It's going to be great.
Somehow create the moral out of that. Go right ahead.
Even then, I'd want to kill someone off. So I don't know.
He fell off the brick.
He couldn't come through. They both died.
He got sucked down the pipe. Died.
Question
instantly.
1. What's the point of life, guys?
What? What just happened? Did she say if it was based on truth or fiction? Did she say?
She said that this was a fiction story.
Ah.
And it is called A Swift Blow to the Head.
Huh. I get it.
Because of the pillow, Aaron.
Yeah, right? Because it hit her in the head. I'm glad she had all the words because she left a few out. This changes the whole story.
Oh, no. That's
in
terrible.
many directions. It can go all kinds of places.
It truly
This
could.
might be the episode that's probably going to get us in trouble. All right. All right. Well, thank you for those, Amber and Paula. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's correct.
Thank you, ladies, I assume. I don't want to assume, but I assume you're both ladies. So thank you, ladies. As our show goes, we will occasionally pick listener stories to read and discuss on Smirk. And if you'd like the chance to have yours read, email them to mystory@smirkpodcast.com. That's my story at smirkpodcast.com. Join the conversation by joining our Facebook group and follow us on Twitter @smirkpodcast. And be sure to use the show's hashtag Smirk. I say that real fast and I keep saying hashtag. That's what I say. Yeah, exactly. Don't miss an episode. Be sure to subscribe to Smirk on your podcast app of choice and check out our website at smirkpodcast.com. That was fun.
That was fun. Once again, thanks to Paula Sell and Amber Schrader. They did some really interesting stories there, and I think we had good discussion from it. So I'm glad they wrote in.
Zach, didn't I just say that?
I wanted to reiterate their names.
Sounded like I heard the same thing twice just now. Yes. I will say, I love the listener. I love the listener stories. So
because you don't have to write one.
Please, please keep them coming. Do not issue me more challenges. And
I think I challenge
a great time.
Every listener who submits a story to challenge Zach to write a happy story.
Well, that would be
wait. Don't do that because then he absolutely won't do it. If you tell him to do something, he will never do it.
Sounds like that could be a story in its own.
Mm-hmm. Truly could. Well, guys, this was fun. When you write your own life story, always remember to tell it with a smirk.
Do you want to try it again? You want to do it again?
Sure.
Knock yourself out.
And as you write your own life story, always remember to tell it with a smirk.
Nobody heard
that.
Zach. Nobody heard that. It was so low.
I tried to imitate Zach's. With a smirk.
With a smirk.
Is that what I sound like?
You barely whispered it.
I need to talk to a speech therapist or something if that's what I sound like.
Just raise your voice up an octave. Are you still there, Zach?
Yeah, hello.
Oh, I thought you gave up. I thought you just said...
I'm not doing this challenge.
I'm not doing all these challenges.
Oh, shit.
What was that?
Did I offend handicapped people?